Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we're diving deep into one of archaeology's most captivating mysteries, the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient Jewish texts, first unearthed in 1947, are an absolute treasure. They contain some of the oldest known copies of biblical books and other contemporary writings, offering us an unparalleled window into Judaism and the historical backdrop of early Christianity. For decades, however, figuring out the precise age of these more than 1,000 fragile parchments and papyri, many of them in tiny fragments, has been a monumental challenge. But hold on to your historical hats, because the story of these ancient documents is now being dramatically revisited, thanks to an incredible fusion of cutting-edge artificial intelligence and refined radiocarbon dating techniques. This isn't just a small update. We're talking about potentially pushing back established timelines and deepening our understanding of a pivotal era in human history. So how did we use to figure out how old these scrolls were? Traditionally, the age was estimated to span from the 3rd century BCE to the 2nd century CE. A primary tool was paleography, which is the nuanced study of ancient handwriting styles. Experts would meticulously analyze the evolution of letter forms. But paleography, while incredibly valuable, has its inherent limitations. There's a degree of subjectivity, and it requires a substantial library of securely dated reference manuscripts, which has always been a bit of a gap for this particular period. Then, in the 1990s, early radiocarbon dating efforts provided some anchors. But these weren't without their own challenges. For example, remember that castor oil applied to the scrolls back in the 1950s to enhance readability? Well, that could contaminate the samples and skew the dating results. This meant that for many of the scrolls, a precise, objective date remained elusive, leaving significant questions about their origins and the communities that produced them. But now, enter a new era of archaeological science. Researchers have developed a truly groundbreaking approach that synergizes the power of artificial intelligence with the precision of modern radiocarbon dating. This innovative methodology isn't just refining dates. In some cases, it's significantly shifting them, suggesting many scrolls are considerably older than previously thought. An international team, notably led by Professor Mladen Popovic of the University of Groningen, has been at the forefront of this research, and they've employed an AI model with a rather evocative name, Enoch, referencing a biblical figure associated with ancient knowledge. So how does this AI, Enoch, actually work? It's quite fascinating. Scientists trained Enoch by feeding it digital images of ink traces from scroll fragments that had been newly and, very importantly, reliably dated using the latest radiocarbon techniques. The AI was designed to meticulously analyze the intricate geometries of the ink trace. It looks at subtle variations in the curvature and shape of each character, probing the texts in a way that goes beyond what traditional paleography could offer. Essentially, the AI learned to identify period-specific handwriting styles by analyzing the physical characteristics of the writing itself, almost like decoding the muscle movements of the ancient scribes. This approach replaces subjective human interpretation of letter forms with mathematical and geometric analysis at a micro level. And the results? Cross-validation tests showed that Enoch could predict the age of manuscripts with an uncertainty of around just 30 years, sometimes offering even narrower date ranges than radiocarbon dating alone. After its training and validation, Enoch was used to analyze around 135 undated manuscripts, and expert paleographers found its predictions realistic in a high percentage of cases, around 79%. The results emerging from this AI-assisted reevaluation are nothing short of transformative. Many Dead Sea Scrolls are now believed to be older than previously estimated. For instance, scroll fragments written in ancient Jewish scripts known as Hasmonean and Herodian might actually belong to the late 2nd century BCE, rather than the prevailing view of the mid-1st century BCE. This suggests these writing styles emerged earlier and may have coexisted for a longer period than scholars had believed. Some manuscripts in the Hasmonean type script could be older than their previous estimate of 150 BCE to 50 BCE. And here's something truly striking. The new dating indicates that two biblical scroll fragments might actually come from the same time as their presumed biblical authors. For example, a specimen from a manuscript containing verses from the Book of Daniel was found to be older than traditional paleography suggested, potentially aligning it with the era of the book's author. Similarly, a copy of Ecclesiastes has been dated to the time of its presumed author. Imagine that! These revised timelines have profound implications. They impact our understanding of the political, intellectual, and religious developments in the Eastern Mediterranean during the Hellenistic and early Roman periods. That's roughly the late 4th century BCE until the 2nd century CE. Understanding that certain texts were written earlier can reshape interpretations of their content, the evolution of biblical literature, and the social context of their production and dissemination. It offers a clearer view of the development of Jewish thought and literary traditions in the lead-up to and during the emergence of Christianity. For example, if manuscripts found near the famous site of Qumran were actually written * before the site was occupied, it could change our views on where many of the scrolls originated. Now, while this new technology is incredibly powerful, the researchers acknowledge this is ongoing work. One challenge involves the fact that radiocarbon dating typically determines the age of the parchment or papyrus, the material, not the precise moment the text was written on it. Though, the AI cleverly focuses on the writing style itself, creating a useful synergy. A crucial step to ensure more accurate radiocarbon dates for training the AI was the initial cleaning of samples to remove contaminants like that old castor oil. So, the current research is seen as a significant first step, opening new avenues for dating the entirety of the more than 1,000 Dead Sea Scroll manuscripts. The success of the Enoch tool and the broader research project really highlights the power of interdisciplinary collaboration. We're talking about experts in archaeology, radiocarbon dating, paleography, computer science, and machine learning all coming together. This fusion of physics, geometry, and historical textual analysis brings a new level of quantified objectivity to a field that once relied more heavily on subjective interpretation. The journey to fully understand the Dead Sea Scrolls is far from over. However, the introduction of AI and refined radiocarbon dating has equipped scholars with what Professor Popovich described as a time machine, allowing us to, in his words, shake hands with these people from 2,000 years ago with greater chronological precision. This innovative approach is not only unlocking deeper secrets from these ancient texts, but also provides a model that could revolutionize the study of other partially dated manuscript collections from various historical periods. Just think of the future, rich with new discoveries about our ancient past, all thanks to this blend of ancient texts and modern tech. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online.